Well, here in France, farmers who have been blockading major highways over the past several days obtained a list of concessions from the French government Thursday. That led two major unions to announce an end to those nationwide blockades. But I think it's still too early to declare an official end to the crisis. That's because some protesters say that they are planning to continue at least for another day until they see written commitments. Well, Ariane Bogain joins us now on the program for a closer look. She is a senior lecturer in French politics at Northumbria University. Thank you very much for joining us, Ariane.
Good afternoon.
So Macron's government is often accused of headline-making announcements with limited impact. So how significant do you think the concessions for these farmers are?
Well, they are quite significant, and the fact that the main trade union said that they've been heard and asked for roadblocks to be removed shows that they are happy with what they got. They didn't get everything that they wanted, but enough for them to stop the road blocking. But what we've seen is a de-escalation. It's not the end of mobilization. First of all, because one of the union wants to carry on. They don't think they got enough. They're smaller, so I think what we're going to see is more localized roadblocks as opposed to throughout France. Second, the trade union said yesterday that they want to be very vigilant. They want to make sure that what's been announced is actually implemented and implemented well. And they gave two deadlines. One, the agricultural show at the end of this month, and second in June for any EU action. And if they see that what they have been promised is not implemented, they are going to start again. So today, right now, we have a clear de-escalation. A lot of roadblocks have been removed, but it doesn't mean that it's the end, and it can start again.
Now, this is far from the first protest movement that Emmanuel Macron's government has had to grapple with. And in comparison to others, there were seemingly much fewer protesters. And still, so how do you explain that the scale really and the speed of the announcements, especially compared to the little that was announced for other major protest movements?
Yeah, it's because French governments are very wary of two demographics in France. One is the students, the second is the farmers. This is because farmers' protest tends to be very disruptive. It can be very violent. We have a very, very long history of those protests. They are also very difficult to dislodge because you're talking big tractors. It's much easier to, to stop people on the street when they protest as opposed to tractors, unless you're going to send the army, which you're not going to do. And they are supported by the vast majority of the population. I think it was 90%. So it's very difficult for a government to go against farmers, and they are super organized with, trade unions, that kind of lead and control what they're doing. So they were in a position of strength, and it's always been the case for farmers. And you're right, the government was very quick to act because they knew that they had to act quickly, and that's what they did. And here is the result.
Well, for the left, this is yet another example of Macron pandering to the far right. Why are these concessions to farmers seen that way?
I think the main criticism that I saw from the left is about the environment. And, because in the plan, in what was announced yesterday, the Eco-Phyto, sorry for this name, plan, which is a plan designed to reduce pesticide, is going to be paused. So there has been a lot of criticism from NGOs in particular that basically what the government has done is pander your term to the farmers, but sacrificing or at least denting France's environmental commitment. And the government said this morning that they want a popular ecology as opposed to a punitive one. But the question that has to be asked is, what does it mean? What does a popular ecology mean? And what does this reduction in environmental commitment means for the green transition. So the criticism from the left is very much about the fact that the environment is kind of sacrificed, and also that long-term structural problems in terms of farmers' income has not really been tackled.
Finally, these announcements, Ariane, included a push to obtain so-called food sovereignty. Do you see this then as a loss for the EU? France, of course, was just the latest of over a dozen EU countries to see farmers protest over the past 18 months. So what does this mean for agricultural regulations? Does it set a precedent, perhaps?
Well, again, it has a nice ring to it, environmental sovereignty. But what does it mean? I understand that there's a law that is going to be passed to flesh it out. I think it's really another kind of message of love sent to farmers to say, we are hearing you, we understand you, we are going to help you. But what will it mean in practice? At this stage, we don't know. It's just a nice soundbite.
Thank you very much for joining us today, Ariane.
Thank you. Thank you.